Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Partridge. I'm one of three of your fifth grade teachers for the 2020-2021 school year. We thought we would make a video this time to share with you before school starts, just so you can get to see us since we'll be teaching virtually, and just to go over a couple of things we would like you to work on before you come to school. We're really excited to work with you all. You'll most likely have an opportunity to work with all three of us at some point during the school year, so we decided to film the video together just so that you get a chance to see all of us. And we look forward to starting to work with you next week.
Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Johnson. I am another one of your fifth grade teachers. Just like Mrs. Partridge said, we just wanted to kind of do something a little different this year with like the video introductions, because it is going to be a little bit of a different year, as you know. So just so you were able to, I know you probably saw us in the hallway last year, but just to see us again and get familiar with us. And Mrs. Partridge is going to go over something later for a Flipgrid where it'll be good, so now then we can see your faces. So we see your names, but putting a name to a face so we're able to see everyone. But we're excited to get the year going, and we look forward to seeing you guys.
Hi, everybody. It's Mr. Westbrook. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody soon. All three of us just wanted to say, welcome back, Tiger Nation, fifth graders, parents, and also guardians. We're excited to be your teachers this year. We're excited about the 2020-2021 school year. As we are ready to return, we know that there's a lot of uncertainty. The district's teaching and learning team is working vigorously to provide a safe educational environment for our students. Please be checking the MNSD website, your emails, our homeroom school G page for updates. At this time, the students will be doing virtual remote learning for the first couple of weeks of school. We will continue to make sure you learn through the different circumstances that come before us this year. We're very excited to be your fifth grade teachers. We hope you've had an awesome summer, relaxing, reading some good books. We're excited and we're looking forward to a successful school year this year. We're looking forward to meeting each of you virtually for now, and hopefully in person in the near future. If there's anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to contact any of us. The best way to do this is through the Schoology app. Parents, thank you again for your continued support. And students, we can't wait to start this new school year, and we're looking forward to meeting every single one of you.
All right, so as I said before, I'm Mr. Johnson. I'm going to share with you my screen and something that's going to be a little different this year. Good, can you see my screen, guys? All right.
Yeah, yep.
All right, so this is our fifth grade Padlet. So this is kind of going to be your home base, different places to check in, different links, different communication. It's just going to kind of be a good catch-all for a place to go. So you'll see in here all the different tabs up top. This is going to be for like all students. This is where we're going to put like our video here. This is a fifth grade schedule is going to be down here. And then each teacher is going to have their own column. All right, so Mrs. Partridge, myself, and Mr. Westbrook, we have very similar things in them. They're just catered towards our specific homeroom. So for when you go to IXL, this is the IXL letter. It's all the same. But then when you get to the usernames and passwords, this is going to be all my homeroom. Whereas if you go to Mrs. Partridge, all right, hers is going to have all her student information and all her student passwords, and the same thing for Mr. Westbrook. So kind of the first thing you want to get familiar with is your homeroom teacher, and maybe some of the different students in there, things like that. So that'll all be kind of in there in our columns. We're going to update this and add things to this as the year goes on. But some of the things to point out right away is going to be your parent letter. That's just a hard copy of it. So the Zoom link. So the Zoom link is going to be for each one of us is going to be in there. There's Mr. Westbrook's and Mrs. Partridge is over here. So there's going to be 3 Zoom links that we're going to use. This way, it's only 3 links. It's not, you're going to have to do 5, 6, 7 different links. It's just going to be, if you're in my homeroom, you're going to use this link. But then if you go to Mrs. Partridge for math, you're going to leave my homeroom link, and then you're going to go to Mrs. Partridge. Vice versa, if you're in Mrs. Partridge's homeroom and you have me for math, you're going to leave her homeroom Zoom and then just come to mine. Same thing for Mr. Westbrook. So, you know, this is going to kind of be what you're going to use all for this virtual start. Another thing is the parent survey. So for parents, we're going to ask you, it's all the same link and it's all the same questions, but just kind of to give us a little insight on your child, what kind of they like, they don't like, what are their strengths, weaknesses, what they need to improve upon, because it is obviously going to be a different year. We're not really going to be able to see them and kind of get to know them as well as we'd like with these circumstances. So we're kind of relying on you for a little bit of background information, anything we should know. Also, so I think that's a Class Dojo. So here's going to be your link to Class Dojo. For those of you, I'm pretty sure all the fourth grade teachers use it, but we all have Class Dojo pages. It's going to be our classroom management system where students earn points and then they use those points for rewards, whether it's, you know, we haven't come up with the rewards yet because it's obviously different this year, but in school it would be like to sit on a yoga ball for a day, to sit next to a friend for a day, to write in pen, to have extra recess, different things like that, just kind of to engage them in the learning process. Also with Class Dojo, that's another good way to get in touch with us because once you go on and choose your child and sign in, there's a message feature on that, and that's good because it comes right to our cell phones. So it's kind of acts like a text message or the Remind app. It's just an easy way to get in touch with us rather than email because it comes right to our phones and we get notifications. RAS, so another thing, which is in the past, I think it's been for younger kids, but with the online aspect this year, is RAS Kids now will be available for fifth graders as well. So the RAS Kids student information will be found under their homerooms. All right, you click it, you find your kiddos, and then you can log them in. And then there's this parent information there. So I know it's a lot of information, but you kind of just find your homeroom and then navigate up and down. That's kind of going to be your best bet. Over here, we just have some technology support things as well. IXL, we're going to be using that a lot. That's a new program we're using this year. So this is kind of like the overview of it. We'll go into it more in detail when we're zooming with the students. And then also accessing Chrome because we are going to be all virtual. So obviously logging into Chrome and having their username synced up and everything is going to be vitally important because if they're not logged into Chrome, they're not going to be able to access some of the websites that we're using. And then the last column over here is just some ways and some helpful tips that we think could be helpful. I know at home it's going to be difficult and there's going to be tons of different situations, but just seeing things like this where you're not at a desk, but kind of making it like your private place, all right? Kind of to minimize distractions and then just different ways, like ways that you guys can help at home, and then vice versa. If you have anything that you want us to know, feel free to let us know. So we'll be sending this out. This is just kind of the Padlet. So if you ever hear us refer to it as the Padlet, this is what we were referring to. But we are excited for the year to get started. I know it's a little bit different this year, but nonetheless, we are excited to get the year started. So Mrs. Partridge.
Yes, so Mrs. Partridge here again. With the Padlet, we're also going to put that link to the Padlet. We'll upload that to our Schoology pages, our homeroom pages in Schoology. The district really wants us to use Schoology as like the main place for students to go. And the idea with the learning management Schoology is that students should be able to get to a lot of what they have to do, like different websites and stuff, by clicking something in Schoology, and the Google Slides or whatever it may be pops up right in Schoology. So we're trying to avoid having to use too many different systems this year. But Schoology, the first week of school, the kids are going to have a ton of training on it. So we really won't be getting into like, math, reading, that sort of thing the first week. It'll be more technology based. So we figured since they really aren't familiar with Schoology yet, we would make this Padlet just as another way to organize the information. And then, like I said, once we get into using Schoology, we'll upload the Padlet to there, so you always have it as a resource. I am going to share my screen now. All right, so what we're going to do, you might have used this last year with some of your 4th grade teachers. If not, we used it a few times during virtual learning and got really good feedback from students on it. It's a website called Flipgrid. So we are going to, after we film this video, what we'll do is we'll upload it to Flipgrid, the website, and it's going to be under a topic called Welcome to 5th Grade. So the video is actually going to go in this spot right here where I'm hovering over. So you'll be able to play this whole video right from that spot. But in order for us to get to know you and to put a face with your name and to see, you know, you tell us like things about you and what homeroom teacher you have, the cool thing about Flipgrid is if we post like a picture or a video, we can have a discussion about it. But even cooler, instead of just like typing your response, you can record a video response. So we were actually going to ask, once you watch this video and have time to digest everything we're throwing at you, if you could record a response, like I said, so we can get to see you and get familiar with you. And in your response, if you could say your full name, which one of us is your homeroom teacher, and then 3 words to best describe yourself. And then you can record your response just by scrolling down on the page here. You would go to record response, click on that. A box will pop up. And then there's a couple steps, but it's all pretty straightforward. Obviously the first step is record. So if you just come down here to the red camera, video camera, click record, it'll give you 3, 2, 1. Then you can record your response, you know, your name, homeroom teacher, the 3 things about you. When you're finished, you can hit pause. Then you want to click the next arrow. Oh, boy. It'll be step 2. Step 2. Step 2 where you can review your recording. Then if you click next, it'll take you to step 3 where they ask you to do a selfie. And then the last step is to submit it. And then when you submit it, it'll come on the bottom of our original post. You can type your name here. You can type your full name, first and last name. That would be great. Then you would just click on the blue submit button. And it'll tell you hopefully that you were successful in doing that. Complete, make sure you click on complete, and then your response will be down here below. And then it'll actually be cool because once you go back into here to see it again, you'll be able to see other people's responses. You guys can actually respond to each other just saying hi if you haven't seen some of your friends, you know, since this whole quarantine situation happened or something like that. And then the teachers will also see, you know, try to respond to you guys as well through video as best as we can. So we'll probably be using this a lot this year, not even just for this opening activity, but in other ways too, just to be able to see you guys a lot more versus just, you know, typing on Google or something like that. So that's Flipgrid. So like I said, you can work on that once you finish watching this video if you'd like. And the last thing we were going to ask you to do is something not new. We do it every year. But we're going to ask you to create a me bag. So basically you can find any bag at home. People have found like a pillowcase, brown paper bag, plastic bag from a store, a reusable bag, anything, backpack. And you're going to basically find in your house, you don't have to leave the house, you don't have to buy anything, but 4 to 5 items that tell us something important about you that you can share with your homeroom. And we're going to ask you to have that prepared for the first day of school. We'll share a couple of those a day on our Zoom morning meeting sessions. And then it won't be, well, we'll just probably like randomly call on people to share. So you just want to have it kind of like wherever you're working at, just have the bag ready each day until you're called on. But just some ideas of things that you may want to include. People in the past have put something in their favorite color. Definitely a favorite book has been popular. People have brought in awards, trophies, items like souvenirs from a trip or just pictures from a trip that they went on. So really cool things. And again, this is just another way for us to get to know you and what you like, dislike, things like that a little bit better. And as always, parents, if you could just supervise what your child is putting in their bag, just to make sure everything is appropriate, we would appreciate that as well. And like I said earlier, we know that was a lot to digest, but we were hoping doing it through video and walking you through some of the things that we'll be using for the first couple weeks of school was helpful. And like Mr. Johnson and Mr. Westbrook said, we can't wait to see you guys in person, but for now virtually. And it's a learning process for all of us. So can't promise we won't have technological issues and things like that, but we will get through it together. Mr. Westbrook, Mr. Johnson, you want to say anything before we leave?
Nah, just enjoy your last week of summer, and it's going to be a little different from what you were doing in 4th grade. So just know that it's going to be a little bit more is going to be asked of you. It's going to be a lot more like face-to-face and us teaching and that sort of thing. So just know that going into it. And like you said, there's going to be some glitches, but we'll navigate them the best we can and try to make it as smooth as possible.
And I know we'll reiterate this when we have back to school night. I know all 3 of us, but you know, if you can't log on, you're having trouble logging into anything, just contact us. Just let us know. Email us. You know, get in contact with us through Class Dojo or just somehow, and just let us know. We understand there could be technical problems, so you know, just let us know so we can hear from you. And before we go, Mr. Reardon asked if anybody in my homeroom who has me for homeroom to start the Pledge of Allegiance and also the Russell Pledge for the beginning of the school year. And he asked to put them both into one video. So if you could start sending them to him or also to me through email, that would be awesome. And if you could show your Tiger Pride on those too, it would be awesome. So anybody who has me for homeroom for the Pledge of Allegiance and also the Russell Pledge, if you could start sending videos in, that would be awesome. And we would really appreciate it. So thank you.
And I think just the last thing I wanted to mention earlier too, we're going to have the schools having a beep and greet. So that's going to be on Friday, September 11th. So the end of next week. And I believe the 5th grade time is 2 to 3 o'clock. I saw. But basically it's going to be like a drive-through where you can come and we're going to have a bag prepared for you of just some things, resources you can use at home, things like that. So if you're able to make it, all 3 of us will be there. So we'll be super excited to see you in person from a distance, obviously then. So we're hoping that you can make that. If not, I'm sure you can arrange with the front office a different time to pick up the bag of resources. And with that, was a lot of information, but I think that's it for now. So like we said, we can't wait to see you. And we hope you have a good rest of the summer, even though it's only a couple more days, but enjoy your Labor Day weekend and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.